Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. I am Adrian, and we are playing Budget Mono Blue Control today. And what do we think of this opening hand? It is not the best opening hand. We do have a single counterspell, but we do have Curious Homunculus. I'm gonna keep it. I don't think it's a very good opening hand, but I don't want to go down any farther either. So yeah. We're gonna keep it. We already kept it. We're keeping it. That's the name of the game here, peoples. It's not a very good opening hand because obviously we would rather have a little bit more control in our opening hand rather than like two of these cards. So yeah. Oh, looks like we may be playing against elves. Elves would be potentially elves. I mean, there's a couple decks around Elves Mystic. Elves being the first one that comes to mind. Actually, maybe not. Maybe not actually. Well, let's keep up, and we'll mana leak whatever they play. Yes, Elves would, in theory, give us a little bit of a hard time, simply because we don't have enough control to just stop Elves. Hey, maybe it is actually Elves. Well, we're going to mana leak that. Goodbye. No, thank you. I don't really want you playing that. I'd rather that go to your graveyard. Speaking of graveyards, let's open those up so you guys can see what's going on in Graveyard Town. Which is over here. This is Graveyard Town. And yeah. Go to our turn. I'm glad we slowed our opponent down enough on that one. So here becomes the second question. Do we keep Mana Leak up and Mana Leak is the next thing he plays? The answer being yes. That is what you do. We are playing a control deck. I know the last couple games I played, I'm just not good at playing control. I'm not going to lie. Playing control is like my weakest thing I possibly can do. I mean, I'm just not good at it. Do we? No, we let him have the Lenoir because he may play something else. There's plenty of other 3-drops he may want to play, and I'd rather him swing for 1 and hold up mana than actually play it. Because if we counted this, he still has 3 mana. Yeah, control is like my weakest point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just not good at playing control at all. I'm just so good at tech. I love like aggro decks, and I like playing combo decks as well, or decks that have a lot of cool synergies. But I'm not necessarily the best at playing those decks. Okay, going to our turn now. We can successfully play Homunculus and keep mana up for Mana Leak, which is going to be totally fine. Obviously, if he swings in with these guys, we're not going to block. I mean, we'd rather have our Homunculus actually turn into a giant, ferocious reader rather than into a graveyard, something that goes to the graveyard. So, yeah. What is this? Is this like a budget elf deck? Put a green on each creature. Oh my god. We may actually be playing against a Paradox Elves deck. This looks like it could be a Paradox Elves deck we're playing against. Basically the deck I did deck on a while ago. Except I did the budget version. The non-budget run would be even more scary. So, yeah. That would be a thing. A thing to see. I bet they're going to swing on both because they probably know that I'm not going to block this guy. So at least get in a couple damage. I mean, whew. But this one here, put a 1/1 counter on each green creature that entered the battlefield this turn. That could be crazy, especially if they're doing the Paradox thing, like dropping everything, give everything haste, and give counters. Ooh, super scary. Not interested in seeing how that pans out. Hopefully we get some more control. There is a bunch of control stuff we could, in theory, be drawing into. Curious Homunculus is not one of them. But we do have 2 things in the sideboard. So what this is going to be what? Do we have enough to cast this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could cast our Cryptic Serpent right now, which is not what we're going to do. We're going to combat first. And we're going to swing with our Curious Homunculus. Because this guy doesn't have haste, so there's no point in swinging casting this before we actually put in our swing with our Curious Homunculus. Always play stuff on your second main phase, if at all possible, because your opponent might think, hey, well, maybe he has a blue pump spell. Your opponent might be thinking that. I don't know why they would think that, but they could in theory think that. And we will play a Cryptic Servant for 5, which is a lot. Obviously, our opponent knows we're tapping out, but again, we're getting a 6/5 threat on the board, which is scary, because that means our opponent can't swing in without us doing a whole bunch of damage. And yeah, in sense, again, maybe this is actually me not playing control very well. He's Hibernizing. Again, this is looking very, very similar to a Paradox Elves deck, which is super funny. The only thing we have to see is a Paradox Engine and or the Burning, whatchamacallit. Yeah, I mean, we don't have any way of countering it. If we did, that would be ideal. So yeah, that's something that happens. Which is probably why he played Harmonize first, just to kind of test the waters. He'd rather lose Harmonize rather than Elvish Archdruid. Okay. Spreading Seas is a card. A card that we will actually play first because we may be able to pick something up to actually bounce this guy. Let's see. So we're getting rid of the one that makes it so whenever creatures come in, Serum Visions, yeah, we're going to do that as well. And Vapor Snag, exactly what I wanted. What do I think? Think twice. What do I think? Think twice goes on the top, followed by Serum Visions. And I think what we're going to do is go to combat, swinging with... How do I do this? So we go to combat, and I think we actually just Vapor Snag this guy right away. So yeah, so I think we just Vapor Snag, which is not the best. It doesn't feel the best, but we're gonna throw this guy back to his hand right away. And then get in 7 damage. And then we're going to play another Curious Homunculus on our second main phase. He doesn't have any blockers, because he has no way of getting blockers. Play the Curious Homunculus. We are out of cards, but at the next turn we're going to have a 6/6 and 2 3/4s. Unless he has a way of dealing with them, which I'm assuming he does not. I could be wrong, actually. He has 6 cards in hand. Our opponent actually has a half-stacked hand right now, so that's pretty crazy. Elvish Visionary. Draw a card. That's a cool one. I've never actually seen this one before. I guess it's an MTGO special. And it's a foil. Not really foil. It just means there's a rainbow texture thing that goes over top of it. Which is, technically foil, I guess, if you're looking in, like... It reflects the fact that it is a potential foil card. That makes sense. Lifecrafter's Bestiary. So that means if he has a Paradox Engine in hand, next turn, he will be able to go into Infinite Land, potentially. So we need to kill our opponent next turn. Can we physically do that? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I don't know if we can. He may... 2/1s. That's not... We don't have enough to, like, instant kill our opponent. But we do have... What we have on top? We have a Serum Visions on top. So both of our Curious Homunculuses are going to flip over, which is rad. Turning into some extra win condition action. And then we draw a Vapor Snag, which means we can draw Serum Visions. So we play Serum Visions now, making these guys bigger, because they both have Prowess, which is rad. Prowess is like the best ability ever. I like it a lot, especially in aggro decks where I get to do Prowess aggro stuff, which is super rad. Okay, so we're going to draw a card, which is Think Twice. And, I think what we're going to do is put Think Twice on the bottom. We don't need Think Twice on the top. But we will put this on top of the library. And then we're going to go to combat. See if he blocks anything. He should, in theory, block these with these guys. We're literally swinging with everything at this point. And we have an Engulf the Shore on top, which means we can actually, in theory, bounce everything. But unfortunately, he's going to bounce our stuff as well. So we're going to do it in response on his turn, if we need to, which is the current plan. But he needs to block, otherwise he's dead. Especially because we can play this. Or he may miscalculate and be like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If he doesn't double block, then he's dead. Double block or die, that's your option. So he is single blocking, which means we may as well think twice now, because that'll make this guy a 5, 6. which is nice. And then we draw a card, which is Engulf the Shore, which we can play for a substantially less amount of mana. I think this is going to be us passing to our opponent's turn. We don't want to play Engulf the Shore yet. We would rather him like go off and do his thing, and then be like, and here you go, back to your hand. Have this, have fun. Yeah. Oh, actually, hold on. Maybe Engulf the Shore is not a good idea, because he may be able to go like super infinite, actually. Basically, us giving him cards to allow him to draw more cards. Mind you, he doesn't have he doesn't have like anything in his hand that is actually in play that is immediately going to give him a ton of mana. Basically, you need either Archdruid or you need what's the other one? Heritage Druid. That's the one I'm trying to think of right there. So let's play Think Twice. Think Twice for 1 mana because it costs 2 less, which is awesome. Which we could have. I don't know, we wouldn't be able to get enough mana to like actually potentially win or kill our opponent. But we get another Think Twice, which we can play for 1. Hold on, do we? No. Okay, so we're just gonna let it happen. Can we let it happen? Can we let Heritage Druid come down? Because obviously this needs 2 mana. We can afford to play another Think Twice. Just 1, not 2, just 1. And if we draw into a counter spell, then we can actually counter his Heritage Druid. Negate counters target non-creature spell. We'll hold on to that, and we'll actually play that for his Paradox Engine, which will be more painful for him than anything else. Because that's probably what he's waiting on right now, is to get the Paradox Engine down. So this will help us with that. Obviously, we're not going to do the Engulf the Shore this turn. We're going to swing in, and he's going to just like have to keep chump blocking everything, or dying. So that's the thing. Again, Think Twice costs 1. So if he doesn't play a Paradox Engine, we can actually just Think Twice again at the end of the turn. Yeah, and I don't really want to play Engulf the Shore right now because, yeah. Lead the Stampede. That's not a bad idea. Hold on, he has what? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not enough to play Paradox Engine. Paradox Engine is... Oh, hold on. Paradox Engine... Oh, good, it untaps it. Nice. Paradox Engine is 5 mana. Yeah. Countering Lead the Stampede. Goodbye, Lead of Stampeding. And then at the end step, we'll actually play Think Twice and just draw another card. Just to... Actually, no, we're not. No. We're going to play that on our turn, because then we'll actually buff... Oh, opponent scoops. Scoops it! We're going to sideboard, guys. Yeah! Okay, what do we do against elves? Another Engulf the Shore is not a bad idea. We may be playing against a Paradox Engine, so obviously Dispel is a really good idea. Boomerang is also a really good idea. Is Negate worth it? I don't think Negate is at all worth it. Spreading Seas is in theory worth it. Curious Homunculus is worth it. Vapor Snag. Vapor Snag is not super worth it. And actually Engulf the Shore I don't think is... Engulf the Shore actually may just save our butts at the end of the day. Serum Visions is fine. Cryptic Serpent is fine. We actually need to put something back in, to be quite honest. Could put another Engulf the Shore in. I mean, it may save us. No, Boomerang. Boomerang is what was going to go in. Because Boomerang actually bounce his Paradox Engine or other stuff, which would prevent it from like going infinite. We should actually put 2 of those in, because I think they're actually going to be really handy. Yeah. And what do we take out in place of that? Spreading Seas, I think you can probably come out. Just one of you. If we were playing against a deck that was playing like multicolors, like 3 or 4 colors, or 2 or 3 colors, not necessarily 3 or 4 colors, 2 or 3 colors, I mean, it would be way better. But we're not, so we don't need to, and we cannot keep this hand, so it is going to go away. I've been recording videos for hours now, so my voice is starting to get a little bit dry and waney. Mulligan. So yeah, so if my, no, what? This is bad as well. So yeah, so, wow. I have land in this deck. I swear. We're going to keep this. because it's the first time we've drawn land. Wow, that's really rough. Really rough. You go on the bottom. Definitely on the bottom. Well, that sucked. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been playing Magic and doing some audio recording for quite a while now, so my voice is actually starting to hurt a little bit, and my enthusiasm is slowly draining. We might as well Vapor Snag this guy right away. And just slow him down like half a turn. When I say my enthusiasm waning, I don't mean like I'm losing enthusiasm. It's just like the energy needed to like commentate with like lots of energy takes a lot of energy. Who would have guessed, right? Well, whenever opponent casts a blue spell on your turn, you create a 4-something elemental token. That is amazing. I never knew this one. This card is amazing. Write this card down, people. This card is going to be amazing. Well, we don't have a second land, so let's ship it to our opponent's turn. Eye of the... Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, obviously you don't see a ton of, like, blue counter stuff in Modern right now. I mean, you see some, but it's, like, not anywhere near as strong as it used to be and not as much... not played as much. So... yeah, neat. It's cool seeing this deck. I mean, this is really cool that this... to see Paradox Engine being played. I had a hiccup there. And look at that, still nothing. Our opponent might just win because we don't have any land. Win by default. Yeah, super cool deck. I mean, I always enjoy seeing decks that I've done like deck techs on being played against. So pretty darn cool. I should ask this person, like, where did you see this deck? Where did you see this deck? Question mark. This is where I would counter this normally, but we don't have anything to counter it with because we, well, as you can see, don't have any land. We need land so bad. Well, let's see how this pans out. Okay, what do we think? So opponent is, what, swinging with a 2-2, I guess? Why not? He should. He should, in theory. He, in theory, should. Swing in with a 2-2. You're not going to play anything. I don't know what you're going to play for 1 mana, especially when you have 1 card in hand. Oh, okay. So I just totally like asked this guy, like, hey, was it on YouTube? And this guy totally got the idea for this video, this deck from the channel. Alright, haha. Okay. And do we draw? It's our turn. Do we draw a land? If we don't, we're probably going to just scoop. Oh, it's a land! Sweet! That means what? If I play stuff on his turn, he gets a 4/4 elemental creature token. So I think we're just going to boomerang on our turn. His Archdruid? It'll prevent him from, like, going crazy. Okay. Yes, what was I talking about? I don't remember exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, did you watch the last videos, by the way? Because I totally talked about doing some series, some additional series, and I think that might be interesting. I mean, I want to start doing videos more often, so you can go back and watch those. I might actually do a formal video on that. I'm thinking I probably should just be like, hey, guys, this is what I'm thinking of doing. What do you guys think? And kind of get your feedback on the channel. I mean, if you are interested in having more feedback and stuff, I do pose questions regularly on like the Facebook page. Say, hey, what do you guys think of this? Doing it for 6. Sure. He must have 2 in hand if he's doing it at this early in the stage. He just Banefire me for 6 damage to my face, which seems like he probably could have got more value out of like playing his like Archdruid and then swinging in. Seems like it's probably a better bet. Well, let's Spreading Seas this thing. Maybe we'll draw into an island, because we drew a Curious Homunculus, which is not going to help us much at this point. And island? Come on, or just land? Island, yes! Fantastic! Passing it to our opponent's turn, though, because we still don't have enough to actually do anything specific. Yeah. Rootbound Crag. Neat. There's the Archdruid swinging in for 6. I mean, I have a 2-turn clock right now, which is not my idea of fun. Not at all. Okay. Just because we had the super mana screwage this early game, so that's rough. Dispel. Hold on, why did I put Dispel in here? Counter target instant spell? Why was I putting Dispel in? He's not running like instant stuff. He's running a sorcery that wins, not an instant spell. Well, don't do this. This is bad. And we're going to concede and go to sideboard. We can find a way of winning this. Okay, guys, we can do this. First of all, we take out Dispel. That's the first thing we're gonna do. I'm not sure why I put this in here in the first place. Negate and Essence Scatter. You guys can come back in. Yes, please. Vapor Snag. You can also go back in. I'm not sure why I took you out in the first place. And Spreading Seas is, in theory, good in some ways, but not amazing. Sundroplet would be pretty fun. Pithing Needle actually is a good idea. I don't know why I didn't put that in the first place. And we actually take out a single Spreading Seas. And probably a single Think Twice as well. Basically, we're putting in Pithing Needle, naming Heritage, or not Heritage Druid, naming Elvish Archdruid. Just because then he can't get a ton of extra mana, which is actually the biggest problem that we have, and actually the thing that we're worried about him doing is getting a ton of mana. So, sweet. This is a fantastic opening hand. We'll keep this, because we can name Pithing Needle right off way, which is good. Which is very good. Yeah. Pithing Needle, making things stop, which is good for me, because I want things to stop. Okay, so and we also have a couple land destruction stuff, so which is also good because that deck doesn't run a lot of lands, so blowing up stuff early game if possible. Okay, so we need Elvish Archdruid, right there, bam. Okay. And ship to our opponent's turn. Yeah, so if we can blow up stuff lands early game, it would actually really slow our opponent down technically, because they should only be playing like 15 lands in that deck, because almost everything else they have in that deck produces mana. I guess the other option would have been playing naming Elvish Mystics as well, potentially. But again, Archdruid just creates so much extra mana, it's like worth naming Archdruid right away. Interesting. So what do we think? If we Spreading Seas his forest, it means it means what? Does it mean anything? Does it mean anything at all? I think it doesn't mean anything, so we're actually just going to go to our opponent's turn, and then we're going to play Telling Time. I think that's what we're going to do. Obviously, Spreading Seas, we actually want to be playing on his Rootbound Crag, or if he has Stomping Grounds in the deck, we want to be playing on the Stomping Grounds as well. Basically getting rid of his access to red mana. Mind you, stuff like this is also very painful because it creates red mana. So he has the red mana. What do I think here? Curious Homunculus would be good to get into our hand. I think the island can go on bottom, actually. I think we're going to put Mana Leak into our hand, you on top, and Island on bottom. Okay, so now we have some control, some better control, I should say, in our hand for next turn. So in theory, we could be hoping to basically counter whatever he plays next. That's kind of the plan. So we'll see how that pans out for us, especially because he didn't play a second land. So he doesn't have any more land in his hand, which is good for us. I mean, technically, Ghost Quarter, if we Ghost Quarter his forest, then he has less potential of drawing into land. I mean, he has 3 mana right now. So, oh, there's no land. So, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. We'll survive. We'll survive, guys. Druid of the Anima. Don't want you. No thanks. Goodbye, Druid of Anima land. Druid of Anima land. Yep. Obviously, we would have liked to get something a little bit better, specifically like a Heritage Druid, which could easily come down, or that. That's also pretty scary for us. Not that scary, a little bit scary. On our next turn, we'll probably play Curious Homunculus and counter target creature spell. We'll probably have to do that at some point as well. Okay. Just because we want to get another source into another, we want to get something that's going to flip our Homunculus. Is really the short-term objective. And even if he gets, can we still win? If he gets 4/4 elemental creature token is really hard to play around. But do I do it? Is it still worth it? It makes stuff cheaper. 50-50. I think we're gonna go this way. We're just gonna get rid of one of his get rid of one of his forests. I mean, it's not gonna slow him down at all, but it will allow us to draw his card, and hopefully we'll draw something that next turn we can actually get into our graveyard, which gives us another turn. Island doesn't necessarily help. Not helping at all, actually. This card, I should have just... I guess I had no way of actually countering it. I guess I could have actually let the Druid of the Anima land and then play this thing. So maybe I got baited. Maybe I actually totally played that wrong and just got baited. Should have totally kept that up and actually, yeah. Oh well. I needed to counter this thing, to be realistic. And I realistically could have actually just, let this happen and get rid of that, which is way more scary. So, yeah. Surprised, we haven't seen, Paradox Engine come down yet, or anything, so maybe it's not actually Paradox Engine. Maybe it's just, a deck that's trying to, be budgety elves with value, maybe? I'm guessing? Has some interesting upgrades. Eye of the... what is it? Eyes of Wistent. I'm totally pronouncing that wrong. Eyes of Wistent. What is this? I don't even know where this is from. It's a very neat thing. Neat card. And he totally tapped out. He could be, in theory, be swinging in. But he decided not to. Okay. So this is sad. I mean, I could get two black zombies right now. How lame is that? How lame is that? Card draw and card filtering, something I really need right now. So I guess we play the Homunculus. I guess? Yeah? Play the Homunculus, and then we'll play Essence Scatter hopefully on his turn. And flip our Homunculuses, and then play Rise from the Tides? I guess? Sort of? It's kind of an idea. Hopefully we get to play Essence Scatter. Hopefully. Oh, I should have swung out with this guy as well. But I didn't. Well, we'll see how it pans out for us. Not the best matchup for us. That's for sure. Sure. We'll go like this. You can have your 4/4 elemental creature token. And I will get 2, 3, 4 creature tokens, which is not half as good as what you have. I'm not gonna lie. Not even half as good. But it is something. But it is something that'll hopefully allow us to, close out this game a little bit. I mean, it's pretty stalematey right now, but he is gaining way more advantage. He's going, way wider than I am. Another Heritage Druid. Druid of the Anima, I mean, either of them is painful. And both, actually, theoretically, Druid of the Anima is a little bit better, marginally, because if we get rid of the other Druid of the Anima, it actually will slow our opponent down a little bit. So, because then he can't play his Banefire. So, yeah. So he's tapping for 3 mana. No, he's not. I think he may have realized that he actually needs Druid of the Anima to cast Banefire. I'm assuming he's not going to Banefire us right now, though. Because you know what? He's only going to Banefire us for, 1, 2, 3, 4 damage? Hardly anything. Not even worth it. Not even close to worth it. Harmonize? Sure. Drawing cards is always good, especially in green. Because green does not have many draw cards. Harmonize is, one of the few, actual draw cards in, green. So, at least good ones. So, so fingers crossed we draw into something that, like a Telling Time or Think Twice or something like that. Because things are going to get really cheap, and I'd rather actually get more cards in our graveyard so we can actually get more zombies. And make these guys prowess big would be rad. A Vapor Snag would also be really nice because we could just Vapor Snag this guy back to our opponent's hand, which would be fun. And yeah, we're going to see. We are going to see. Now our opponent just sent us a message saying, like, not getting a message Paradox Engine at all. I was wondering. Okay, super funny. So our opponent is not getting Paradox Engine, which is sad for him. And we draw an island, which is literally not at all what we were looking for. Well, that's the thing. What do I think now? So I could just play Rise from the Tides and then say pass, say go. I could. 1, 2, 3. Not gonna terramorphic. Yeah. Okay. Well, those are something I do. Rise from the Tides. Getting 3 zombies. Not a ton of zombies. I'm not gonna lie. This is a pretty weak amount of zombies we're about to get here. So, And this is like, is this an activated ability? No. Oh yeah, it is. No, tap 3 elves. So we could have actually theoretically named Heritage Druid as well with this guy, but we didn't because Archdruid is actually more scary. So 3/2/2 zombies, and we have 4 5s. I mean, if he double blocks, which is not a terrible idea for him, he gets rid of one of our guys. That is less fun for me. Much less fun. Do I do it? Do I not do it? He would totally just do it. Why wouldn't he double block? So we're not going to go to combat. We're actually going to hold off and hopefully find something that looks like a Engulf the Shore and throw everything back to his hand. That's what we're going to hope for. That's the hope. I don't think I pulled them out, did I? I don't think I did. I think I left... I may have put the second one in. Did I put the second one in? I don't remember at this point. Scary. I should have put them both in. I should have left them both in because, I mean, if he has a Paradox Engine in play, we can actually just bounce everything to his hand. Oh, no. No, that doesn't work either. I'm trying to think of how we can, how having Engulf the Shore and he has Paradox Engine. I think if he, as soon as he gets Paradox Engine, he's likely to go infinite. So, that's a thing. It's a thing for me to keep in mind. Okay. What is our opponent doing? I'm waiting for him to get a Paradox Engine so I can... I don't want him to get a Paradox Engine. Why am I waiting for him to get a Paradox Engine? I just want to win. I want our opponent to, like... If I draw an Engulf the Shore, I also put my zombies in my hand, which sucks. Jorga Warcaller for only 1? Oh. That would have been a really good way for him to win. Like, just tapping down everything, taking a little bit of damage. I mean, I'm not going to be able to kill him next turn. Like, just tapping down everything to, like, get a ton of mana. Putting Jorga Warcaller at, like, 6. Actually, I think it'll be able to do what? 1, 2, 3, 5. So it'd be able to do an extra 5. So we'd actually be able to put 3 counters on him if he wanted. If he wanted. As an option. Which would have put everything at 3 3s, which would have been pretty rad. And he is playing what? What is he playing now? What are you playing now, my opponent? I mean, in theory, he can still play his Archdruid, if he has one. And he just can't use the ability on it. So it still creates elves, and he can use it for tapping down his Heritage Druid. Harmonize. We're getting a lot of those. Lots of Harmonize. 3 of them at this point. In, like, the top, 20 cards of his deck. Pretty impressive. Lots and lots of harmonizing. Much harmoniousness. I need to get rid of this thing. That's my next objective. Get rid of elemental annoying guy. Yeah. This is what makes Cryptic Command so good. Mana Leak, you are absolutely not what I'm looking for. I don't think my opponent knows that, though. Yeah, let's go to combat. Swing with all of these guys. Do I swing with these guys as well? I mean, our opponent's not going to play anything that I'm going to be mana leaking at this point. If I do, he's going to just block and kill, which doesn't help us at all. I should have probably just swung with these last guys, because then last turn, that actually would have killed one of these things, and then we would actually potentially got in with more damage. So our opponent's just going to take... No, taking 4. That's neat. And ship to our opponent's turn. Going wide strategies like elves is really hard for us to deal with. So, I mean, we're doing our best to like fight this uphill battle. hopefully we'll get there. Fingers crossed. Let's see what he does. I'm interested in see like, because I mean I love the Paradox Engine deck as well. It's super fun. It's not well. I assume it's super fun. It's fun to play in paper. Oh, there's Paradox Engine. If we mana leak it, he'll just play 3 mana, which means he may not be able to go off this turn. Maybe. Let's try. Let's try. I don't think this is gonna do it for us. I think we're on the losing streak here quite honestly, or we're on like the losing side of this battle. So we're gonna see how this pans out. Okay, he gets another elemental, which is problematic for us. And he's obviously gonna pay for Paradox Engine. Like why wouldn't he pay his 3 mana? Just use the forests. And then he can potentially try and go off. Pretty risky to like Paradox Engine to go off with Paradox Engine. Pretty risky to go off with Paradox Engine. Blah. Yeah. What is he doing? What does he think? He needs Paradox Engine. And this is what makes things like Cryptic Command so well, because at this point, if we were playing with Cryptic Command in the deck, we could have been just like literally counter the spell and draw a card, or we can remand it and put it back to his hand and then draw a card, which is so much better. It is so much better than like mana leaks and like essence scatters and stuff like this, where I mean, sure they do counter stuff, but they're not like Heritage Druid. Yay! I think our opponent might have just went off. Let's just pass until our turn. So 6. Pass. Let's see if our opponent can do it. Yeah, so this is what makes like the better counter spells like so much better, because they're just like they're countering stuff and drawing cards, or countering stuff and doing other stuff. Like example, like Cryptic Command just does like everything. We could like tap down our opponent's stuff. We could return something to our opponent's hand. Like we could in theory bounce Paradox Engine back to our opponent's hand. Which I don't think that right now would actually help us a ton, but it's something we could in theory do. And then like Remand as well. Remand becomes early game really good because we're not just like losing cards. We don't need to like kind of safeguard. Okay, what are we gonna keep? We can actually like just counter stuff, and we're gonna draw a new card. So we're hopefully gonna get new stuff. Again, if we were playing against multicolored decks, our deck tends to do a little bit better as well because spreading seas tends to be really good. And like something else about this specific deck as well that we're playing is it is extremely good against Tron. I've had a couple Tron matchups that I just like completely smash Tron's face in, which is super funny. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Yeah. I will say that, I mean, because we are playing a $40 budget deck, this deck is a lot more budget than you would see. Because most of the decks I'm doing are like $60, which means we have a couple cards that are like, you know, pretty good key cards. I have a hunch our opponent's going to swing in for a ton of damage right now. So, I mean, we're doing a $40 deck, so this is like budget to the point where it's actually kind of a casual deck. So if you're playing against anyone that's kind of playing a little more casual, this is like a really strong deck. Has a lot of really good synergies, has a lot of really good things. But again, I mean, if you upgrade it, if we put in like Vedelkin Shackles, we can do a lot of really fun stuff. And it has potential to be really good. I mean, right now in the current meta, really Bane firing for 3? Okay, well, if you want. Hold on, I should open up his graveyard again. Yeah, but I mean, like right now in like the meta for modern, like blue control doesn't really exist. There's a lot of like creature hate control kind of decks, and a lot of it's gonna be GG. I'm gonna tell our opponent GG. GGG accidentally put. So yeah, so there's a lot of sure here. So yeah, so there's a lot of like creature hate. So being creature decks is really hard. So there's a lot of like combo-y decks and like small advantage decks that are kind of like winning the meta. Anyhow, this has been Adrian. This has been Adrian. I'm Giant Monster Games. Yes. Until next time, don't forget to game like a giant monster.